Unfiltered.
I'm not sold. I'm sorry.
Unapologetic.
I'm not trying to talk about him.
Unlike anyone else.
But knowing y'all
will probably make me.
This is the Stephen A. Smith Show.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you as I love to do every weekday from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over the airwaves of Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Number to call up as always is 888-MAD-DOG-6. That's 888-MAD-DOG-6. That's 888-623-3646. 888-623-3646. Plus, as always, if you want to leave a voicemail message, just go to SiriusXM.com/GetSirius to leave your voicemail message and make sure you're heard even when you don't talk to me. That's SiriusXM.com/GetSirius. We've got a new Super Bowl champion, and that is the Seattle Seahawks. Was it the most exciting game in the world? No surprise there. Seattle's defense was just that legit. And to me, even though I saw them winning this game, I picked them to win this game, I'm not surprised they won this game. It was not the most exciting Super Bowl in the world, to say the least. Through three quarters, you're only talking about 3 or 4 field goals. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about a New England Patriots defense that showed up with an offense that was incapable of doing so. We're talking about a Seattle Seahawks defense that hunted and hunted and hunted all night long. And Drake Maye seemed ill-equipped to do anything about it because he had an offensive coordinator in Josh McDaniel and a head coach in Mike Vrabel who did little to nothing to help him. Now, I know not Josh McDaniels is an exceptional offensive mind. He's a former head coach in the National Football League with the Las Vegas Raiders. Obviously, he's a hell of an offensive coordinator and a Super Bowl champion at that. But you know what? It's a lot easier when you got Tom Brady throwing the football for you instead of a Drake Maye. And we saw a difference in it. We saw a difference in it coming into that. I mean, there's no way around it. Drake Maye didn't look great at all. We get that part. We understand it wholeheartedly, fully. But in the end, it was a collective collapse by an offense in the New England Patriots that gave a lot of fodder for folks who felt they never belonged in the Super Bowl to begin with. Defensively, we have nothing to say about the Patriots. Their defense showed up. But we all know that it was essentially garbage time. Okay, we all know that. We all know that. Come fourth quarter. And why do we know that? Because for 9 drives over 3 quarters, the New England Patriots punted 8 times. They had 5 3-and-outs. They had a turnover, a lost fumble on the part of Drake Maye. They only recorded 5 first downs through the first 3 quarters. Only one play went for over 11 yards in the first 3 quarters. They had 0 points into the fourth quarter, down 12-0. After the Patriots advanced to Seattle, I think it was like their 44-yard line or whatever it is on their opening drive, they failed to reach Seahawks territory again until the fourth quarter. Didn't even cross midfield. And think about this, in the AFC Championship game against Denver, combined with the Super Bowl, the New England Patriots offense had a combined 10 3-and-out drives. 10 3-and-out drives, 5 in each game. And Drake Maye himself threw the ball 43 times, but only completed 27 passes, 295 yards, 2 touchdown passes, but most of his production came in the fourth quarter against a prevent defense in garbage time. He was sacked 6 times. He was pressured 53% of the time on his dropbacks, the highest rate by a defense in the Super Bowl in the next generation stats era, holding him to just 11 completions on 20 pass attempts under pressure for 135 yards and 2 interceptions. Only had 48 yards passing, and 30 sack yards in the first half. I mean, this is domination. This is complete domination. 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, and a fumble. A 79 passer rating, a QBR 16. And by the way, his wideouts like Booty and Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs only had three. He caught all 3 of his targets for 37 yards. So he was only targeted 3 times. I'd love to sit up there and tell you receivers couldn't get open. But how will we know? Because Drake Maye was tap dancing in the pocket all night long because of the pressure that was being applied to him. They were all over him. And that's why I look at a guy like Josh McDaniel. You're the offensive coordinator. You were there when Tom Brady lost to the Giants. You were around. You saw what it was like for the greatness of Tom Brady to be humbled because of pressure applied, because Seattle didn't blitz. For most of the game, they didn't blitz at all. 54% of the time. Even more than that, they sent their front four and dropped everybody else back into coverage because they knew they could get them. You were starting 2 rookie offensive linemen. You knew this, Josh McDaniel. You knew it. What you do about it? Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. Do y'all know that Drake Maye was sacked an NFL record 21 times in the postseason? Surpassing the previous mark of 19 by Joe Burrow in 2021. Remember how we excoriated the Cincinnati Bengals when Joe Burrow was out there running for his life? People were joking that he was on suicide watch because you didn't have any protection for him whatsoever. Well, we said that about Joe Burrow in 2021. What the hell are we saying about Drake Maye today? First quarterback in NFL history to be sacked 5 or more times in 4 straight postseason games. No protection whatsoever. No protection. I'm just looking at that and saying, what the hell you expect from the man? No, Drake Maye wasn't great. And yes, it's a learning experience for him. And he spoke after the Super Bowl, highlighting that reality. But he was class personified and really owning up to what transpired. As far as I'm concerned, taking a share of the blame he didn't deserve to take. You don't believe me, Sean? Do we have that sound from Drake Maye? Play it, please.
Yeah, it's hurt. No doubt. It definitely hurts. It's been a long ride. They played better than us tonight. They deserve to win that game, and speaking for the whole team and myself, it's just what a journey it's been for us. I love this team, love those guys in the locker room, and we'll leave it all on the field. And I know a lot of guys did that tonight, and just came up short, didn't play our best, and that's what happens.
I feel bad for the kid. Because as bad as he was yesterday, it's hard to be good when you're faced against that kind of pressure. It really is hard. I mean, Seattle was hunting. Make no mistake about it. They were hunting. They were on the prowl. They smelled fresh meat. And Josh McDaniel and Mike Vrabel did little to nothing to help this man make any adjustments whatsoever. Running game wasn't much to brag about. Didn't throw any screen passes or anything like that. Didn't do that too much. And then you got Will Campbell. He allowed 14 pressures. Do y'all understand that that's a Super Bowl record? A 27% pressure rate? Tied for the most by any offensive lineman in a postseason game since 2018. Did y'all know that? Got to remember, the Patriots are starting 2 rookies on the offensive line. Will Campbell was your left tackle. 4th overall draft pick. Left guard, Jared Wilson. 3rd round pick. You were relying on both of them. Seattle smelled blood. They were like blood. They were like sharks in blood-infested waters. And the New England Patriots seemed like they could do very little about it. I told y'all before the Super Bowl, Kenneth Walker was my sleeper. I told you could run the football effectively. New England has no chance. And sure enough, they weren't throwing the football that well. They were giving the ball to Kenneth Walker, who was making stuff happen in a free agent year, I might add. This brother's about to get paid and deserves it. Super Bowl MVP. Absolutely deserved it. 135 yards rushing. About 26 yards pass catching. He absolutely deserved it. He was the number 1 weapon for the Seattle Seahawks. Remember, Jackson Smith and Jigba, remember with him, he was out. He left early because of a concussion. Didn't need to come back. Cooper Kupp was being targeted. Kenneth Walker was being targeted. That was more than enough against New England. Not to say that they was having their way with New England's defense, because New England's defense showed up, and they deserve a lot of credit. And this kid, Christian Gonzalez, special. Single-handedly stopped at least 3 touchdowns. Single-handedly stopped at least 3 touchdowns. This brother's something special. No doubt about it. Didn't matter whether he was going up against Njigba, Shaheed, Kupp. Didn't matter. He showed up. Major props and credit to him. And New England collectively, as far as I'm concerned, Kayvon Chaisson, he showed up too. But you can only do but so much when your offense keeps getting you back on the field because they can't make anything happen. And that was the situation with the Cincinnati Bengals, which was pretty damn sad to see. Cincinnati Bengals, I mean New England Patriots, I'm sorry. Pretty damn sad to see. 888 Mad Dog 6 is always the number to call up. That's 888-623-3646. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Let me get to something that may be deemed controversial. It's not to me personally, but it is to a lot of people. And that was the Super Bowl halftime show by Bad Bunny, which was primarily sang almost entirely in Spanish. We saw Lady Gaga performing, obviously in English. We saw them dancing. I got to admit, the vibe was fly. I really, really liked the vibe. You understand what I'm saying? This is why the Hispanic population, my brothers and sisters, they should be loved. I'm telling you right now, they know how to party. They know how to have a damn good time. Ain't no doubt about it. He had that vibe. It was flowing the whole nine. I love how the president of the United States was acting like he wasn't going to watch, but he was watching. There's a video out on social media of him actually watching the Super Bowl halftime show. And by the way, while he was watching it, then he naturally took time to insult it in the aftermath of revealing that he watched it, because we know that's what Trump is inclined to do. There's no doubt about it. Bad Bunny, here's what he had to say. The Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible. One of the worst ever. It makes no sense. Is an affront to the greatness of America and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence. Nobody understands a word this guy is saying. And the dancing is disgusting, especially for young children that are watching from throughout the USA and all over the world. This show is just a slap in the face to our country, which is setting new standards and records every single day, including the best stock market and 401ks in history. There is nothing inspirational about this mess of a halftime show, and watch, it will get great reviews from the fake news media because they haven't got a clue of what is going on in the real world. And by the way, the NFL should immediately replace its ridiculous new kickoff rule. Make America great again. President Donald J. Trump. Let me be very candid, yet very straight up about what I'm going to say. I will tell you that I'm going to elaborate a little bit more extensively on my YouTube show about some other things the president has said just over the last couple of days, along with some other stuff, but this ain't the platform for politics. Here's what I would say about the Super Bowl halftime show. I'll address President Trump and his best stock market comment and best 401ks in history comment. Oh, I'll address that. But he does have a point where he says that people, and when he alludes to the mess of a halftime show, it will get great reviews from the fake news media. You're going to have people that are going to be raving about the halftime show simply because they want to be anti-Trump and anti-right and all of this other stuff. That ain't me. I don't give a damn. I'm fair-minded down the middle. I think it was a damn good show. I think the vibe was fly. I agree with J.J. Watt, former NFL star, future Hall of Famer, that said, I didn't understand that. I understand the word they were saying? No. Was it a pretty damn good vibe? Oh, hell yes. He's absolutely right. I 1,000% flow with J.J. Watt on this. But that first comment, here's my only reticence. You're in the United States of America, and you perform damn near an entire performance in Spanish. Boy, do I wish. I mean, I'm so in love with the Spanish language. I don't know why I stopped studying it in school. One of my biggest regrets of all time. Damn it, I'm going to try to take me some Spanish lessons. Okay? But if you didn't understand Spanish, you were lost. And most Americans don't understand Spanish. So when Trump sits up there and says, even though he's maligning it, I'm not, because I was still enjoying myself, even though I didn't understand the words he was saying, I was still flowing with it, and I still enjoyed it because the music was fly. And the performance was cool. And me personally, I didn't have any problem with the dancers, just for the record. Didn't bother me. Didn't bother me at all. Okay, let me be very, very clear. Okay? But the flip side to it is that it was primarily in Spanish. And if most people don't understand the lyrics because you're speaking it in what they deem to be a foreign language, that is a legitimate point that the president made. That part. That doesn't mean they had a problem with it. I'm just saying his statement that most people didn't understand anything he was saying. And during the times that we're living in, even though give Bad Bunny major, major love, because he brought up a whole bunch of Hispanic nations, including Venezuela, Guatemala, Puerto Rico, which I love, by the way, just a half hour, 45 minutes from St. Thomas. My family's home. I love it. But people, there's millions upon millions of Americans that would have wanted to hear something in English other than Lady Gaga. That is true. And me personally, been nice to see J-Lo out there. Been nice to see Shakira out there. Been nice to see a few people celebrating their Hispanic heritage, no doubt. But it also would have been nice if some of the songs were in English. That's all. But it was still a good show. Not great compared to Beyonce with Bruno Mars and Coldplay. Bruno Mars by himself. Dre with Mary J. And Snoop and Kendrick Lamar and all that. And it wasn't Kendrick Lamar's performance either. Last year, it wasn't a lot of stuff, but it was good. It was good. And I just wanted to make sure that I said that. Props to Bad Bunny. Props to Rock Nation for producing the show. I'm good with it. I don't think it warranted the reaction from the president, who's clearly, once again, trying to politicize something that don't need to be politicized. And I was very, very thankful and grateful that ICE was not in attendance. That meant a lot to me. You know, that meant a lot to me that ICE wasn't in attendance and you let people enjoy the Super Bowl, okay, because the Super Bowl Sunday. So thank goodness that the president listened for a change to somebody. As far as the show, and I think that at one point in time, you know, Turning Point USA, who had its own Super Bowl halftime show, they had over 800,000 viewers watching. So it's probably more than that, because I was hearing about that early on in their performance, but I was watching the Super Bowl and then ultimately the Super Bowl halftime performance. I wasn't turning it away from Bad Bunny, I can tell you that. But props to him. Continued success. But the president is speaking on behalf, or was speaking on behalf of tens of millions of Americans who are like, I didn't understand a word he was saying because I don't know Spanish. That is a valid point. That is a valid point. But the NFL is globalizing its brand, and it's appealing to mass audiences outside of the United States corridors. And this is a way to do that and to ultimately ingratiate your product with the Hispanic community. That's not a bad move. It's not a bad business move, which is probably why Roger Goodell of the league office okayed Rock Nation's executive decision in picking Bad Bunny to perform. So let's just keep it a buck, call it what it is, and go from there. 888 Mad Dog 6 is always the number to call up. Just 888-623-3646. You are listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. Back with more Super Bowl talk, back with more Bad Bunny talk, and then some in a minute. By the way, Sam Darnold versus Drake Maye. What do we say about Sam Darnold now? What do we say about him now? What do we say about this defense that Seattle has as opposed to the dark side, as opposed to the Legion of Boom? What do we say about them? What do we think about the New England Patriots right now? Not just at this particular moment in time, but moving forward to next season and beyond, along with Drake Maye. who was the runner-up for league MVP honors, but certainly didn't play like it yesterday, courtesy of Seattle's defense being very, very elite. All of that and much more is stuff that we got to get into, and we absolutely will do so. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. Back with more in a minute.
Think you have what it takes to debate Stephen A? Call the show at 888-MAD-DOG-6. Here's Stephen A. Smith.
Couple of tidbit of notes. My researcher extraordinaire sent me this information. How many people actually watched the Turning Point USA halftime show, which I brought up? The All-American halftime show drew as many as 6.1 million concurrent viewers on Turning Point USA's YouTube channel, The Athletic reported. The counter show ended later than Bad Bunny's performance, but USA Today reported it drew around 5 million viewers on YouTube during the head-to-head window. The performance was also broadcast on the Christian network TBN. The Inquirer reached out to TBN for viewership totals on the channel. So they had about 6.1 million concurrent viewers, drew around 5 million viewers on YouTube during the head-to-head window. That's the situation with Turning Point USA. Obviously, the Super Bowl, I mean, if you're thinking about network television like NBC, and, you know, you're talking about over 100 million viewers, so who knows how many was watching the halftime show. We'll find that out a little bit later on as the show progresses. Number to call up, as always, is 888-MAD-DOG-6. That's 888-623-3646. Georgia, Connecticut. You're live with Stephen A. Holla at your boy.
Hey, Stephen A. This is my first time calling. I'm a Pats fan since 1975.
Okay.
And I don't know, there's a lot of Drake Maye haters out there. And I looked up the, Marino's first Super Bowl, and
okay.
Drake Maye's numbers were better than Marino's in the first thing.
Are we really going to go there today? Are you really going to go there? Are you really going to call?
Hating on Drake Maye so much. And, he's a
Well, who's hating on Drake Maye?
Oh, the people on social media.
No. What they're doing is pointing out how he got no help from his offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniel.
Right. I totally agree with that.
That's what they're pointing out.
With 2 offensive linemen, 2 rookies, they got to.
Well, it's not just that. You got to play the people that you got to play. If they're injured, okay? And you got 2 offensive linemen who were rookies. That certainly didn't help. But you could have added 6 offensive linemen and used that strategy, okay? You could have made sure to help out, the 2 rookies, but you didn't do so. And that was really, really unfortunate to see, to be quite honest with you. People should be very, very disappointed at the kind of stuff that transpired. There's no doubt about that. We had a right to expect more, and we didn't get more adjustments from Josh McDaniel or Mike Vrabel. And what makes it even worse is that you have to look at it from this standpoint. You've lost before. You've seen the great Tom Brady lose because the Giants applied massive pressure to him with a front 4 in the Super Bowl when the Patriots went against them in 2007 and 2011. And still, here you are finding yourself in this situation with Drake Maye, and Josh McDaniel seemed lost and ill-prepared and very, very timid, I might add. How about taking a chance? They didn't do it until the fourth quarter.
That was one of my points. I went to that Super Bowl when Brady was knocked down 18 times or whatever. That's exactly what it reminded me of. It was horrible. So, but I appreciate you listening to me. All right, thanks, Stephen A. Take care.
I appreciate the call. Thank you so much. Chad in San Antonio, you're live with Stephen A. What's up, Chad? Good afternoon. How you doing?
Hey, Big Goofy. This is my first time calling. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for calling, Chad. Welcome to the show.
Hey, man. Hey, Steve. I just wanted to say, the halftime show is a show. And a lot of these fools I wouldn't say fools, but a lot of these people complaining about Bad Bunny and halftime show spend their entire freaking income tax return to go on a Caribbean cruise or down to Cancun where they're watching those kind of Latin shows the whole time and dance with 2 left feet anyway. So I just think they're complaining about something that they're going to go spend their hard-earned money on to go do in their off time. So I don't know what they're complaining about.
Well, respectfully, Chad, I would tell you that that's not fair. And the reason why I would tell you that's not fair is because people have a right to like what they like and to not like what they don't like. You're watching the Super Bowl. It's like if there was a concert, let's say, for example, hypothetically, right? You're in San Antonio. There's a concert at the Alamo Dome. and they paid to see it and then bitch and complain about what the concert entailed when you knew it ahead of time, that would be different. But this is you watching a football game on a Sunday evening. It's the biggest sporting event in America. And this is going to be the halftime show, and it's on your TV at the halftime, and you just have a comment about it because you're watching it on free TV, and you're paying, and you're doing it to watch the football game, and this was part of the football game. So people have a right to complain. I think the vibe was good. I'm a black man. I'm an American. And I don't speak Spanish yet, but it's definitely something that I want to learn because I love the Spanish language, and I love my Hispanic brothers and sisters, no doubt. But in the same breath, if you don't understand it, there are some people that are going to be turned off by not understanding what the artist is singing and saying. That's all. And it's not the end of the world.
You're right, Steve. You're right, Stephen A. Hey, so yes, I stand corrected on that. But I want to do the over/under on how many more millions of searches on the internet for thick Latinas last night by some of the people complaining. I bet you there's a few million.
Wait a minute. Respectfully, one has nothing to do with the other. Yes, it's rare you hear anybody complaining about Latinas. It's rare you hear anybody complaining about them, and rightfully so. Okay, I mean, there's no reason, and let me tell you. But Jennifer Lopez knows how to speak Spanish. I imagine Shakira does as well. That didn't stop them from speaking and singing and performing in the English language because they recognize it's an American sport, and you have tens of millions of American citizens that were out there that would have preferred that, which is what the president's point was. Now, I'm not inclined to agree with him, especially with his trifling ass tendencies over the recent days. But he does make a point when he says, with the point where he said, a lot of people didn't understand the word he was saying. That much was true. Like for example, my security is Dominican. Brother speaks fluent Spanish. You understand? Thank God I got him. Because not only is he great at his job, but he's great at communicating because I can't. So that sometimes I don't mind because I trust him. Trust him completely. Right. But other times I wish I understood what the hell he was saying.
Yeah, you're right.
That's my fault that I don't. But the point is that people have their preferences. That's all. It's not a crime.
Hey, I got my preferences. I've been married to my Nubian queen for 30 years, man. So, hey, everybody. Hold on.
Whoa.
Hey,
your wife? What's your wife's heritage?
My wife is African American.
Oh, okay, no problem. Oh, I thought you was talking. I thought you meant that she was Hispanic because I was getting ready to get on you. Calling up here complaining about it, and you got an Hispanic wife. I'd get ready to jump all over you. All right, it's cool. It's cool. All right. Do your thing, man.
Hey,
do your thing.
Everybody got their own thing in life. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody got their own thing. I gotta go. Have a nice day. All right, keep doing your thing because you're happier than most. I assume you sound happy. Let's go to Sean in Massachusetts. You're live with Stephen A. What's going on, Sean? How are you?
I apologize.
Pretty depressed. You good, Sean? Go ahead, Sean. You're on the call.
Yeah, I'm depressed of what happened last night.
You knew what was going to happen, Sean. You knew what was going to happen.
I have not seen a Patriot team in the Super Bowl get dominated on the line of scrimmage like this bad since 2007 when they took on the New York Giants. That is how bad it was. But if there is a silver line... But my 2 points. My first point is this. If there is a silver lining, it's they're young, they lost on the biggest stage, you learn from this experience. I think that's the silver lining there. I don't think they will rest on their laurels, especially you're in the Boston market. Boston fans will never let teams rest on their laurels, especially what happened. And number two on Sam Darnold.
You got to improve your offensive line, and you got to get some playmakers.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Your defense is fine. Your defense is fine as long as you keep them brothers intact. Make sure you re-up Christian Gonzalez. Make sure you see you take care of Caleb Von Chazon. Make sure you take care of him, Tong, and the rest of the crew. Make sure you take care of them and keep the defense intact. Defense is fine. Your offense, you got to improve.
Yeah. Christian Gonzalez, bring the Brinks truck to his crib, and I'm going to give him a blank check, write whatever you want on it. He's one of the top corners in the league, and he showed that. But to Sam Darnold, he did a great job managing the game. He took what was there. He didn't turn the ball over, and he was a good reason why they won last night.
No, without question.
I just got to tip my
without question. He didn't beat himself. He didn't let the team beat itself.
Plain
and simple.
That's all I have to say.
All right, my man. You take care of yourself. Sorry, my condolences to you. But the loss was predictable. You knew it was coming. I just didn't expect that kind of thorough ass whipping. Seattle was the biggest team, the stronger team, the faster team, and they were talking about how they knew after the first drive that they had New England where they wanted them. They couldn't mess with them. Plain and simple. And just snatch their heart right out of their chest. Cindy in Maryland, you're live with Stephen A. Hello, Cindy. How are you?
Stephen A. Hi, honey.
I need you to speak up, Cindy, so my audience can hear your wonderful voice. Go ahead.
Okay, I said Stephen A. Hi, honey.
How are you?
I'm recovering from the halftime show. 85% of what you say I agree with. I'm a Brooklyn girl, native, African-American female, love the Steelers, diehard fan, and I like the Knicks. However, today, not today. Let me first start by saying this is America. English is our primary language. Hello.
Right.
I personally found it disrespectful to sing 85% of the halftime show in Spanish. This is not FIFA. Okay? All of those flags and countries have nothing to do with the NFL, National Keyword Football League, or the teams playing. Now, Puerto Rico is a part of the U.S., and I own
Yes,
that.
they are.
Of course, we know, right, Brooklyn is the melting pot, and I grew up in it 5 decades ago, so I'm not against anybody.
Right.
Let's not get that twisted.
Okay.
But let's say the Raptors play the finals here in the U.S. They play their national anthem, right? That's respect. Yeah. And I would have been okay with that. The intro in Spanish, the closing in Spanish, not the whole show. Picked my mom up, 80 years old. Took her to the doctor. She said, I felt so alienated and isolated watching the halftime show. That's the only part of football I understand, and I didn't know anything they were saying. You got to cover all bases here, right? And we're already going through a trepid time as a country. I felt it inappropriate, and that's just my opinion. Thank you.
Cindy, I appreciate the call. I mean, Cindy, a lot of people are going to echo those sentiments. And listen, again, the president has very, very trifling-ass tendencies. And certainly he's shown them as of late, as far as I'm concerned. But his comment that a lot of folks didn't understand a word that was being said is accurate. It's accurate. And that a lot of people may have been put off by that is also accurate. Now, tens of millions of people also loved it. They also enjoyed themselves. And a lot of times, if we really keeping it a buck, we don't need to know the lyrics. All we care about is the beat. And we want to party. And so if you got that kind of vibe and you got us dancing and feeling good about the vibe that you're emanating, then guess what? That's all that's needed. So we got to be mindful of that too. But that doesn't mean that the president was wrong about what he was saying about how most people, or at least a lot of people, probably were turned off because they didn't understand the damn word he was saying. I'm going to tell you where the president was absolutely 1,000% right. That's when he was talking about how the NFL needs to change that damn kickoff rule. I know they're trying to be safe and all of that. I know we're trying to cut down on the concussions. I understand all of that. But damn it, I can't stand how these people got to stand still and you're moving it closer and it's the kickoff and then you wait until a person catches it before you run out because that way they're not chasing you all the way down the field and getting that momentum before a collision takes place. Damn it, it's football. Get back to the old kickoff rules. Donald Trump is right about that. He's right. He's right. We need to get rid of this damn present day kickoff rule and go back to kickoffs and punts being the way they used to be. I'd rather you just fair catch it. than do that boring stuff that we're seeing. I'm not feeling it at all. I want the threat of you being able to return kickoffs for touchdowns. That's what I want. Okay? And remember, you know what? They got blockers. If you really, really want to be safe, guess what? Allow the team to have an extra blocker out there. Instead of 11 men on a team, how about you have 12 on a kickoff team? So you got 11 people that's blocking for the kickoff or the punt returner. Or the kick returner or the punt returner. I think that's an idea that needs to be explored. That's just my opinion. Might sound crazy. But do something. But get that old rule. I mean, this present kickoff returns, I'm not moved. I'm not moved at all. 888-MAD-6 is 888-623-3646. TJ in Minnesota. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, TJ?
Yo, so I know that the last time that we had an opportunity to talk about it, you said that there's other platforms that I should use to talk about it, but I have to say it makes me feel proud to know that the new head coach of my team, the new quarterback of my team, both won championships on their respective platforms.
All right, this is not a soap opera. Who's your team?
No,
Stop keeping us waiting.
All right, well, the Las Vegas
tell me who your team is.
The Las Vegas Raiders.
Got you. Keep going. Go ahead. You talk about the Raiders. Go ahead.
We got Mendoza coming in. We have Mr. Kubiak coming in. Hey, I actually, believe it or not, I actually was pulling for Mr. Spillane, obviously Mr. Station, as well as Mac Hollins, because they all played for us, and I've watched them play games in person many a times. And all I can say is that was total domination. And if we get that type of offensive production, given the fact that we have a solid defense, we have a guy that we're trying to convince to stay in the building.
So I'm stopping you right now. So what you're doing is you're calling into this show on the day after a Super Bowl championship to talk about the Las Vegas Raiders, whose record is 7-27 over the last 2 years. That's what you're doing.
Yes, I am doing that only because it is also the same team that beat two of the last participants in the Super Bowl in the Kansas City Chiefs, as well as.
Let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there, TJ. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Get the hell up out of here. I'm not dealing with that. You're not calling up to my show the day after the Super Bowl to talk about the Raiders and to literally try to put the Raiders in the same sentence. Oh, if my team gets this kind of effort, they'll be a contender. In the AFC, where there's Buffalo and New England and Miami in the East, where there's Pittsburgh and Cincinnati and Baltimore in the North, where there's Indianapolis, Jacksonville, and Houston in the South, and where there's Kansas City, Denver, and Los Angeles in the West. That's 12 teams that we are mentioning before we even think about y'all sorry asses. And you're going to call up here to try and talk on my show about the Raiders the day after the Super Bowl? We have to scan TJ to make sure we're very selective in when we allow him on the airways, because he don't care about the listeners. He don't care about the viewers. He don't care about what's interesting to people. All he wants to talk about is the sorry-ass Raiders. Now, I'm rooting for him because Tom Brady's my boy, okay? All right, and Mendoza can ball. But to call up here the day after the Super Bowl, that's right, I hung up on his ass. I'm not dealing with stuff like that anymore. I'm not tolerating that on this show. You didn't hear me talking about the Raiders. I didn't bring up the Raiders one time. The hell you talk about the Raiders for? Because that's what's on his mind, even on the day after the Super Bowl, which, by the way, they haven't been to since 2002 when they got shellacked by Tampa Bay, when you had one of your offensive linemen go to Tijuana, disappeared, and was in Tijuana and all of this other stuff, wherever the hell he was. I mean, shame. Shame, shame, shame. So I just hung up. I'll be nice. Next time, I ain't going to even let you on the line. 888-MAD-6 is the number to call up. This 888-623-3646. More of your calls in a minute to end hour number one. Right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Back to the Stephen A. Smith Show.
Larry in California, you're live with Stephen A. right here on Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. What's up, Larry?
Hey, Stephen A. Thanks for taking the call. Pats fan, went to the game yesterday. Appreciate all the post-mortem you guys did on First Take this morning.
Sure.
So here's what by the way, if you've never been to the Super Bowl, you got to go if you're a football fan, even if you're not. But anyway, here's my take. Constellation of reasons why the Pats lost that game, and of course, a lot of credit goes to Seattle as well. But in a business context, what you want to do is, okay, what are the key reasons? What are the number one or two or three reasons why the Pats look so inept yesterday? And one obviously has been a constant for us, and that's the O-line. The second thing, and you've highlighted this, and I agree with you 100%. At some point, our coaching has to come up with ways of addressing that, and they have not been able to show us they've done that. So my question really to you, Stephen A., is, given our offensive line and the lack of creativity from a coaching standpoint to address some of these concerns, do you see would there be any quarterback out there in the NFL that you would have thought, given those circumstances, that would have been more effective than Drake yesterday? Or let me put it to you this way. If you just switched and put Drake on Seattle and Darnold on the Patriots, do you think, Drake would have been better with Seattle, and do you think Darnold would
I think Drake would have definitely been definitely been better with Seattle than his own team yesterday, because Seattle has more weapons than he had, and he was going up against a more formidable defense. As good as New England's defense is, and it's very good, it's not Seattle's defense. They can't hunt like Seattle can hunt. So clearly Drake Maye would have been better off being on the opposite side of the ball, in the other uniform. And it's not an accident that Sam Darnold, who didn't have a great game, by the way, benefited from this. No. But to answer your first question, is there a quarterback that I believe could have been considerably better under such duress and such arduous circumstances? Yes, that is an easy answer. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
It would be Lamar Jackson. A healthy Lamar Jackson, you can't send 4 to him and that's it, because you have to have a spy because of his mercurial running ability. So the fact that he could run the way and running at times has been a first option in his career, and how electrifying he could be in that regard, that's why you're somebody like him, because you wouldn't have been able to load and stack the secondary the way that you did against Drake Maye. It's not that Drake Maye can't run, but clearly he had to show the injury, and clearly he can run and gain yards like Josh Allen can. But what he can't do is be a running quarterback. That's not him. That's Lamar Jackson.
Right.
All right?
Yeah.
I got to go.
Makes sense.
I appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much. Let's go to Will in New Jersey real quick. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Will? Talk to me.
Hey, Stephen A. How you doing?
I'm all right. Thank you for calling.
My hot take on the halftime show was this. I thought it was incredibly energetic. I liked it. I think the problem was not so much that we didn't understand what he was saying, is that we don't know the songs. So I think that if you look back on
why wouldn't you know the songs? Why wouldn't you know the songs?
Because I don't download Spanish music off of iTunes.
Well, why don't you download Spanish music?
I don't know. That's a good question.
All right, let me tell you why you don't download Spanish music. You don't download Spanish music because do you speak fluent Spanish? Do you understand fluent Spanish?
I do not.
That's why you don't do it. So if that's why you don't do it, that's why people were turned off by it.
Right. But,
very simple.
Okay, but I get your point. But my point is, if you look back on halftime performers, right, most of those artists, some of the songs. They're like
my man. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but you really sound like you got a screw loose. You just admitted you don't speak Spanish, nor do you understand Spanish, and that is the reason why you don't download Spanish music. I said juxtapose that or really compare that to why some people may have been turned off by it because they were saying they don't speak Spanish and they don't understand it. So the same reason why you don't download Spanish music is the same reason why some people believe a Spanish artist should not have been halftime entertainment for the Super Bowl because, again, it's an American sport. And so as a result of that, you're somewhat obliged in their minds to cater to an English-speaking audience. That's the answer to the question as to why some people would be turned off by it. Don't make them right, because I enjoyed it and I didn't understand it, but I enjoyed it because I enjoyed the vibe. But others are like, I want to know what you're talking about. I want to know what your songs are. I want to know what you're saying. And since I don't speak Spanish and I don't understand it, I wouldn't know. You answered your own damn question. Try calling back another time. Gotta make sense, people. There's listeners out there. You gotta know what you're talking about. You admit you don't download the damn music. So why would you have an issue with people that said they didn't enjoy it? Makes sense. Hour number 2 up next.
Unfiltered.
I'm not sold. I'm sorry.
Unapologetic.
I'm not trying to talk about them.
Unlike anyone else.
But knowing y'all
will probably make me.
This is the Stephen A. Smith Show.
Welcome to hour number 2 of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you as I love to do every weekday over the airways of Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, the doggy himself, Mad Dog Russo, comes on with his afternoon drive show from 3 to 6 p.m. And then my show re-airs from 6 to 8 p.m. over the airwaves of Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. So essentially, from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m., you're getting a double dose of yours truly and Mad Dog Russo in between afternoon with his afternoon drive show. Number to call up as always is 888 Mad Dog 6. That's 888-623-3646. You're listening live to Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. Like I said before, and I'll get back to Super Bowl and Drake Maye and Sam Darnold and how he's looking right now because Sam Darnold's looking seriously pretty right now. And if I'm a Minnesota Viking, I'm a fan, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted with the GM, Adolfo Mensa, who was fired. I'm disgusted with Coach Kevin O'Connell. How the hell could you give up on Sam Darnold for J.J. McCarthy, who hadn't thrown an NFL pass, and sacrifice a season of the careers of Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and T.J. Hockenson? What the hell was that about? Okay, so that's a bad look. You're the New York Jets. You drafted Sam Darnold with the number 3 overall pick. How you feeling today? You didn't have the organizational structure in place to value this kid the way he deserved to be valued and to be patient enough with him to help him grow so you could be relevant as a team. How you feeling right now? How you feeling? So that's a couple of teams that stand out in my mind, but nobody should stand out more than the Vikings in my mind. I can tell you that right now. Sam Darnold is proven to be, he's a Super Bowl champion. And right now, one could easily argue that he's one of the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks in the NFC conference. Who else other than Matthew Stafford is definitive? Is it Jordan Love definitively? If it's Jared Goff definitively? Is it Dak Prescott or Jalen Hurts definitively? I put Jalen Hurts in there. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's a Super Bowl champion. Caleb Williams is on the come up. Jaden Daniels is on the come up. But Sam Darnold is a Super Bowl champion. And, oh, by the way, he's from that 2018 class. Same class as Lamar Jackson. Same class as Josh Allen. He's the one with a Super Bowl championship on his resume, not them. So we got to look at it from that standpoint and say, damn, that is what it is. But that's the stuff to get into right now. Because I'm looking at the prospects of the New England Patriots next season and beyond. I'm looking at the Seattle Seahawks, and you got Sam Darnold for $33 million a year when quarterbacks getting paid $55 million plus a year. Dak Prescott's getting $60 million a year. Dak Prescott's won 2 playoff games in 10 years. I don't give a damn how good he is, because he is good. But when you got 2 playoff victories in 10 years, that's shameful. Yet he'll have more commercials than anybody. But I'm going to digress because I don't want to be in the brother's pocket affecting his money in any kind of negative way. But when I look at all of these dudes, particularly, let me just stay in the NFC. You got Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, and Jaden Daniels, and Jackson Dart in the East. You got Jared Goff, Jordan Love, and Caleb Williams in the North. You got Baker Mayfield, this kid show in New Orleans, who seems to have promise. Bryce Young took the Carolina Panthers to the playoffs. And who knows whether or not Michael Penix Jr. is going to be able to get healthy, and he'll be there for Atlanta in the South. And then in the West, you got Stafford, Purdy, now Sam Darnold, and Kyler Murray. It's a lot, no doubt. Where you got Sam Darnold now? Inquiring minds want to know. 888-MAD-DOG 6 is 888-623-3646. It's live with the Stephen A. Smith Show right here on SiriusXM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. That's one thing to get into. The other thing is to get back into the Super Bowl halftime show, because obviously this is a story that's been percolating since yesterday. The president went off about it and the whole bit, said nobody can understand what he's saying. It's awful, 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 that kind of thing. We get that part. According to Super Bowl folks, over 100 million people watched. I'll have the specific number. As soon as you have them, I'll get them to you. As soon as I have them, I'll get them to you, rather. Okay? And then you had Cindy and a couple of other people call up here, and they're wondering, you saw the last caller talking about, well, you know what, there's a Hispanic audience. Nobody knows the songs. He doesn't think that anything was a problem other than people didn't know the song. Well, why would they know the song? They don't know the song because they don't speak Spanish. So they don't download the music, and as a result, they wouldn't know. That's really what this comes down to. So that's the subject that we were having, and here's what some more data that I have for you. According to the most recent NFL reports, the league estimates they have more than 39 million Latino fans in the United States of America. 39 million. Mexico at 39.5 million fans, and Brazil at 35.9 million fans are among the NFL's largest international fan bases. And if you remember, the NFL has actively expanded into Hispanic countries, with Mexico City, and Brazil, Sao Paulo, serving as primary locations for regular season games. They went to Madrid. They started off the season in Brazil. They've been in Germany. They've been in Dublin, Ireland. They've been in France. They've been in England. The NFL is basically trying to expand its brand beyond the corridors of America. That's what they're trying to do. And they're probably going to pull it off. Highly successfully, I might add. So let's take that into consideration as well. NFL ain't playing around. They're looking for new money. NBA got 11 years, $77 billion deal. How much you think the NFL is going to be able to sign for? Do y'all understand that it is not beyond the realm of comprehension that the NFL could end up doing a deal for close to $500 billion? I'm going to say that again. $500 billion. The NFL, just print money. You think it's beyond far-fetched, it's beyond the realms of comprehension that the NFL could sign a $450 to $475 billion deal since the NBA got $77 billion? You think they can't pull that off? You got CBS, NBC, and Fox. Next year, the Super Bowl is going to be played or aired rather on ESPN and ABC. They got all four major networks, plus ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, as your number one cable outlet. Plus, you got Prime Video with Amazon. Plus, you got Netflix in on the mix, who's in 190 countries. What do you think the NFL is doing? And if indeed over 100 million people watched Bad Bunny yesterday, then the right decision was made, because you're the NFL. You're unapologetically trying to globalize your brand. You're expanding your business. You're expanding your tentacles so you can get up and get revenue from a multitude of sources the world over. Their money counts too. Their money counts too. Why you think PGA golfers left for live before deciding to come back? Why do you think that happened? Why do you think the NBA does business with Abu Dhabi? Why do you think Disney's building a park in Dubai? Pay attention. All of this is happening. And Jay-Z and Commissioner Roger Goodell collaborated, put their minds together, and thought this was going to be the right decision. We can't say it's the wrong decision. It's a great business move. The hypocrisy, it seems that there's hypocrisy on the part of the president because he don't mind doing business overseas. He don't mind doing business in the Middle East. He don't mind doing business elsewhere for himself, for his sons, for his own private business interest. Didn't it come out of his mouth about a hotel in Gaza and all of this stuff? Did he get a private jet from Qatar? I mean, we're just talking money. I'm not talking politics. I'm talking money. And I'm saying if he's getting it, he should understand how the NFL's going to try to get it. It just is what it is. There's no way around it. Especially if people are supporting you and watching your product. NFL essentially wants to let the world know football outside of America ain't just resigned to soccer. They're saying, come learn our game. You'll learn to love it too, worldwide. We shall find out. 888-MAD-DOG-6 is always the number to call up. That's 888-623-3646. You're listening live to Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. James in New York, you're live with Stephen A. What's up?
How's it going, Stephen A?
All right, you're live on the air. Talk to me.
Gotcha. I'm born, Brooklyn, raised. It was a great day to be a New Yorker yesterday. I'm telling you that. Northeast took a beating twice,
because
right?
Why? Because
well,
why?
The Pats lost, and then Knicks beat them Celtics.
Yeah, well, I mean, so what? It's a regular season game. I'm not
I
worried
get
about
what you say, but it's still
Celtics
it's always
right now.
New York and Boston.
By the way, are you sure you're comfortable saying it was a great day to be in New York when it was like? I'm just asking.
Oh, no, you're right.
It's
freezing cold. I'm dying.
I'm surprised
I'm
you thawed out enough. I'm surprised you thawed out enough to be able to pick up the phone to call me.
I thought Sam was the difference in the game, not turning the ball over. And by the way, that's a great stat that I caught earlier, that this is the first Super Bowl champ to go through the entire playoffs and win the Super Bowl without turning the ball over once in the postseason. That's a phenomenal stat. I like that.
That is correct.
And that's a great thing right there. Kenneth Walker deserves everything he got. I love that. And the only thing I didn't love was the refs. They cost me money, Stephen A. They did me dirty. I was on the hook in my squares for $10,000, and when Kenneth Walker was taking that touchdown in, and they came with that bogus hold on him, they took money away from me, Stephen A. I don't like when people take money away from me.
That was a hold. That was a hold, though. I mean, I'm like, damn, because when he scampered in for that long touchdown run, and they called it back for holding, it was holding. It was holding.
It took me down. That was like,
thank you so much. He was holding, my man. Eric and Cincy, you're live with Stephen A. What's up, Eric?
Hey, Stephen A. Thanks very much. I appreciate
Eric,
my call.
Yes,
sir.
Go ahead, Eric.
Well, I respect your comments that you made about the halftime show. I do want to take it a step further, if I may. I made plans to watch something else because Bad Bunny said that he was going to be doing it in Spanish. I don't know Spanish. So I made other plans to do something else. So I'm not mad at Bad Bunny for what he did. What I'm annoyed with is that the NFL knew he was going to do it and decided to do it anyways. For example, during the national anthem, you had the sign language interpreter there. At the start of all these major NFL games, you get an announcement saying that this program is available in Spanish language. So the NFL basically put a program out for its audience and didn't offer them any opportunity to understand what's going on. So I say screw the NFL as far as that goes. And the fact that we're talking about it today.
Whoa, pause. Let me ask you this. If Bad Bunny said it, that's what he was going to do. You got a heads up if you were an American citizen that you didn't necessarily have to watch the halftime show. It was on free TV. And the other part to it was that okay, if you elect not to watch, all right, we understand that, but we're trying to appeal to an international global audience. We want people in Honduras, in Minnesota, in Mexico, in Brazil, Guatemala, everywhere. We want them to see this. We want them to be able to relate to this music. So we made a calculated call that while it might alienate some of our American viewers right now, we already got them. They already love football. They're not going anywhere when it comes to watching the games. We need to appeal to a newer, broad-based audience. And this is one of the ways to be able to pull that off. What's the crime in that?
Well, there's none per se. Now, subtitles in English would have been a courteous thing to do. But let's look at baseball. As an example, baseball the viewership is nothing compared to what it was 50 years ago. The fact that 100 million people watch this game doesn't mean 100 million are going to watch this game forever. And I know 40 million people watched it in Spanish.
Well, wait a minute. People turned away from baseball. Let me tell you something. It's never been the same since the cancellation of the World Series in 1994. Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa almost brought it back, but it's never been the same since 1994 because they abandoned the public by canceling the World Series due to a labor strike.
Absolutely. And the NFL yesterday actively turned off its English-speaking audience last night by offering a halftime show where nobody could understand
Hold on. Only for 12 to 13 minutes. Not for the 60 minutes they play football.
Now, I will say this, Stephen.
That's not that big of a deal.
Now, you mentioned 100 million people watch Bad Bunny. Now, I will say this. 100 million people may not have changed the channel. I'm sure we know for a fact that 6 million turned off, at least 6 million turned it off to watch something else. Now, I'd say most people... and any loss of audience is loss of revenue for the NFL. So I'm going to stick with my opinion. The NFL actively gave the finger to its English-speaking audience yesterday, and they better be careful because some fans, like me, will turn it off. So, but hey, I respect your opinion, Stephen A. Love the show, man.
But you also had people who felt they were turned off when they brought Mary J. Blige with Dr. Dre and Snoop and Kendrick Lamar and 50 and Eminem. You had some people who they thought they was turned off about that. Listen, music. It's rare that music appeals to everyone. Everybody can't be Michael Jackson and Prince. Sometimes you got to make a decision what you like and what you don't like. But that doesn't mean you turn your back on the sport because you didn't like its choice of halftime entertainment. I don't think the NFL has to worry about losing an audience based off of that decision. That's my personal opinion. That's what I believe. Appreciate the call. T-Love in Philly, you're live with Stephen A. What's up, big time? How are you?
Oh, my gosh, man. First of all, thank you for taking this call. Man, I'm so fed up with whining about it wasn't in English. I couldn't understand it. So what? Who gives a damn? Okay? There's more people here than you and your little society that live in your cul-de-sac. Okay? You just explained that the NFL is trying to make a dollar move. They're making big financial moves to appeal to other countries and other people. Damn! How hard is that to explain? I can't stand commercials. Every time commercials come on, I get up and go to the bathroom, go feed my face, do whatever. But they still spend $10 million for a commercial. Some people love them, some people don't. If you didn't like the halftime show, get up and leave the room. I don't need to hear about it wasn't in Spanish, why. The same people that don't like that are the same people that didn't like the show with the rappers, okay? You know who you are. Okay, so don't get on here and whine about it. There was 35 million people that loved it, okay, and probably more than that. I don't know the numbers just because you didn't like
It's probably more than that. I knew that there would be tens of millions of people who did not like it, who don't, but because they don't speak Spanish or whatever. But there was plenty more that would like it, and not only that, it's a global play, and we all know that. It's a global play, and anything. If you showed us that we had, and let's keep it a buck, T Love. If you showed any of us, no matter how much money we're making, we have the ability to pull off, right, going elsewhere to make money on an international scale, we would do it. If somebody said to me, yo, man, there's money to be made in Dubai. There's money to be made in Abu Dhabi. Here's all you got to do. And we knew that it was feasible and doable. We'd do it.
Of course.
So why knock the NFL? Why knock the NFL for doing it and not limiting their money to national coffers?
Why not? Why come here and speak your hatred? Say what you really want to say, okay? Oh, it wasn't in Spanish. I didn't understand. Say what you really want to say, okay? Right. Don't get on here hiding and dribbling.
I do agree. I do agree with the president about getting rid of these kickoff rules, though. They need to change it back to what it was. I do agree with him on that, though.
The middle finger to that fool, okay?
Yes.
Says me, okay? I don't give a damn about what he said.
I'm talking about the kickoff rules. It's not about it's not about him. It's about what he said. Do you agree that the NFL should go back to kickoff rules?
You know what? As it is right now, if you can tell me that less people are getting hurt by these new kickoff rules, then keep it in play. If you can tell me and show me that the numbers are not tilted or whatever, then go back to the old way.
Now, I agree for the most part with your answer, but what I'm asking is, don't you find it a little boring, the NFL? That's the only thing I have a problem with the NFL right now. It is a little bit boring with the kickoff. It really is.
You know what I find tedious? Every time I turn around, there's some fat-faced, orange white man trying to tell me how to live my life. That's what I can't stand.
Well, we know that, but that's not the place for this show. That's my political show, not here. But you're right. Right. I don't disagree with you. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. I appreciate the call, though, man. Thanks so much. 888 Mad Dog 6 is always the number to call up. That's 888-623-3646. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. That's the number to call in. Make no mistake about it. Back with more of your calls in a minute.
Back to the Stephen A. Smith Show.
29 minutes past hour number 2, back here on Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. Let's go back to the phones at 888 Mad Dog 6. That's 888-623-3646. Let's go to Jersey, in San Francisco. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Stephen A.? Thanks for taking the call, man.
All right, no problem. What's up?
Two quick things on the halftime. First of all, it's not that serious. Find a Seahawks fan today who won yesterday and tell me and have them explain how halftime ruined their day. So that's the one thing. Get that out of the way, halftime.
You're saying that they're full of it, that it hasn't ruined their day?
Right. Yeah. It's not.
Got it.
Even if if your Steelers were in the game yesterday, would it ruined your day that Bad Bunny was at halftime?
Yep.
If your team's in the game, you wouldn't care.
So in other words, they're just bloviating. It's much ado about nothing.
Yes. It's much to do about nothing. It's 13 minutes. People can't sit down and listen to music. Who cares?
Exactly.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The sense of urgency for the Patriots offense. Late in the third quarter, fourth and 4, a little over 3.5 minutes. New England's on their own 33. It seems to be that's the point where nothing has worked all day. It's time to go for it on fourth. When is that moment when you thought, after that, they come down, they get a touchdown, it goes up 18-0. At what moment did you think that the offense should have sparked it off a little earlier on those fourth downs?
Well, I definitely thought that they should have came out swinging in the second half. Once you were neutralized and shut out the first half, and you know how elite this defense is, you got to go for it. You got to sit up there and say, okay, we played them for a half. We were in the game. Our defense kept them in the game. Now it's time to take chances. We got to go for it one way or another. We got to figure out how to do what we do. We can't just sit idly by because they ain't going to give it to us. And they would take it. You got to remember, Seattle's taking everything it can get because they understood how tough New England's defense was, and they weren't going to get anything easy. So when the opportunities weren't there and they had to settle for a field goal, that's what they did. That's what they did. And I think that when you look at it from that standpoint, that's the kind of approach that you have to take. You got to go for it and do everything you can to put yourself in position to win. Just the same way they scored the first touchdown when Drake Maye threw it down the left sideline for the touchdown. I mean,
Right.
you got to be more aggressive like that. And the fact is that they weren't. They were a bit passive. But I blame Josh McDaniel for that much, much more than I would ever blame Drake Maye.
You're right. And one last thing, Stephen A. Jessica Alba was also out there at halftime too.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that. Was she performing? Was she singing? She was just
No,
dancing.
she was dancing next to I think Cardi B, and when they showed like the bunch of celebrities, I think Pedro Pascal was standing up there.
Okay, I missed it. I didn't say I watched it. I just didn't see her. Maybe I just don't. Maybe I just missed it. I blinked or whatever. I didn't see it that way. But thank you so much for reminding me. Let me know. I appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much. AAA Mad Dog 688-623-3646. Jimmy in Massachusetts. You're live with Stephen A. Talk to me, Jimmy. Okay, let's go with Tristan in Toronto. You're live with Stephen A. What's up?
Hey, Stephen A. How you doing? What's up?
What's going on, man?
Not much. One quick point about the halftime show, and then I'm gonna get to my football point. I agree with T Love. I think a lot of these people complaining about the halftime show are telling on themselves. They're the same people that had a problem with the rappers when they had their show.
Yep.
I think in 2026, if we can't appreciate different cultures and what they bring to the table, I think that personally is a problem.
Well, I don't think it's a problem. I don't think Bad Bunny is typical of a problem. If you want to say it's emblematic of a problem, here's what it is. You have a lot of people in America that believe that if you're here, you should know how to speak English. That's what they're ultimately saying. You know, like this is America, and you shouldn't be performing on a platform as big as the Super Bowl at halftime, and the American people, you know, for a sport that, you know, is our creative, that we watch, that we've built, that we uplifted. You should be able to speak. We should be able to understand what you're saying. Now, obviously, that's not mandatory. You understand? Because Bad Bunny could do what he wants. The NFL and Jay-Z and them could do what they want. And I personally, again, I enjoyed it. But I do understand what they're saying. And I think now, if somebody's going to sit up there and say that it's wrong for any American to feel, then anybody that's in this country, you know, should be required to know a little bit of English or whatever, and you have opposition to that kind of thinking, I don't blame you for that either. But but those people do exist, and I think that that's what this is indicative of more than anything else.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I don't speak a lick of Spanish, but I really enjoyed the halftime show. I think his storytelling was fantastic. Like, just basically, and you're Caribbean, I'm Caribbean as well, Stephen A.
Yep.
So, like, just showing the culture, right? Like, the things they do for fun, how they dance. I don't know if you know this, Stephen A., but apparently the wedding, the two people got married. Like,
it was real. They did. I do know that. That was a real couple.
Yeah. So the level of
that wasn't fake, and that's a real couple that got married.
The storytelling, like, I don't agree, Stephen A., when you said you don't think it was as good as Kendrick, Beyonce. I thought that was, like, again, I didn't know what he was saying.
My brother,
but just
you are entitled to your feelings. I'm entitled to mine. I loved Bad Bunny yesterday. It was cool. It was enjoyable. But damn it, I'll be damned if I think that there was anybody that was better than Bruno Mars with Beyonce or Dre with Snoop and Mary J and Kendrick Lamar and 50 Cent. You could kick rocks with that thinking, brother. I don't give a damn what you feel. I'm telling you right now, you got your feelings, I got mine. Now, Bad Bunny was good. But, I mean, when you think about that show, when you think about Beyonce and Bruno Mars, when you think about Bruno Mars by himself, when you think about Michael Jackson in the 90s, when you think about that, I mean, come on now. I mean, everybody got their thing. I got mine. You're entitled to your feelings. You're entitled to your preferences. I'm entitled to mine. Now, we ain't going to sit up there and knock Bad Bunny for what he did, but I'm telling you right now, when you talk about performance, and you see the show that Beyonce put on, that Bruno Mars put on when they were by themselves, when they were together with Coldplay, and then you add in Snoop and Dre and Mary J. and Eminem and Kendrick Lamar. When you think about Kendrick Lamar last year, I mean, he was off the chain. Come on now. You got your preferences,
okay.
I got mine.
Yeah, and we can agree to disagree.
That's right.
Football point. My quick football point. I echo the first caller. I don't like the rhetoric around Drake Maye. Like he didn't have a great game, but he had zero help. And I know you highlighted that, Stephen A. The offensive line. I thought Josh McDaniel was terrible. His play calling was way too conservative. But I mean, Drake Maye was out here playing with a bum shoulder. He had no protection.
No,
I mean, he has a bright future.
No, you ain't doing that. You ain't coming up here with that BS. Was he on the field? Was he in uniform?
He was.
Did he throw that touchdown pass?
He did.
Did he keep getting up when he got sacked 6 times?
He did.
All right, then. Don't give me that excuse. Blame Josh McDaniel. Give me that excuse. I want to hear about no shoulder. That's what them shots are for. Cortisone, Novocaine, whatever the hell it is. I want to hear that. Nope. Have a nice day. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. You ain't calling up here with them excuses. That is not happening. It is not happening. Sierra in Vegas. You're live with Stephen A. How are you, Sierra?
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to that my husband, my Canadian husband and I, we absolutely loved the performance. We don't speak a lick of Spanish. I don't understand Spanish, but we loved it because music is universal, and people who think that it should have been in English need to sit down and shut up, because even when Kendrick, wonderful performance, all in English, I couldn't understand 50% of it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I love Kendrick.
There's a lot of rap artists. There's a lot of rap artists. If you ask people and they speak in English, and if you ask people what the hell are they saying, half the folks wouldn't know. That's a good point.
They wouldn't. And you know what? It's still good music. It's still music. Music is much more than just the words. It's crazy to me that people have brought it to such a degree of like.
And you know what the ultimate proof is to that? Want me to tell you who the ultimate proof is to that, Sierra?
What?
Busta Rhymes. Because that brother speaks so damn fast with some of his music, I don't understand a single word he's saying.
Yeah.
You understand? But you still love it. You still love it.
You do. Yeah.
All right.
And, if people have an issue with that, like the United States of America, we didn't have an official language until March 1st of last year. And the fact that happened was kind of crappy, if you think about it. Like, we have so many different backgrounds, so many different people who live here. Like, just no.
Got you.
Sorry.
Sierra, thank you so much for the call. Joanne in Ohio, you're live with Stephen A. Hey, Joanne, how are you?
Good, thank you. Hi. I just called to say I did enjoy the halftime show, and I watched it because the orange turd made such a big issue with his MAGA base.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why I did watch it. And I was so glad I did. And my husband explained to me that football is international, and that is why we need international acts. And that was another reason why it didn't matter, because the music was so good and the theatrics that I don't really listen to lyrics and words when I watch. I listen to the music more, and I enjoyed it.
I appreciate the call. All right. Thank you so much, Joanne. I mean, it's a good point. Hey, listen, everybody's entitled to their preferences. That's what makes America who we are. Okay? Plain and simple. No way around that. Mark in Ohio, you're live with Stephen A. What's up? What's going on?
Yes, how you doing? First
I'm
time
all right. You're live
caller,
on air.
long time listener.
Thank you.
Yeah, you hear me?
What's up? Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm all right.
Yeah, first time caller, long time listener. Hey, should we just let it be Drake or Chris Brown this year at the halftime show, because them the artists that people want to see?
I got to tell you something right now. I think, and I've been on the record stating this. You may not have seen this, but I've been on the record stating this, that I know that people want to hold, stuff against, Chris Brown because of his past transgressions, kind of stuff he got into with Rihanna, and all of that. But I'm telling you right now, I've had people tell me he's so great, he might be better than Michael Jackson was.
Exactly.
And you know something? I want to see it. I want to see it because I watched some of his stuff on YouTube. The brother is sensational.
You can ask anybody. Anybody.
As a dancer, he's the best in the world. He might be the best in the world. And this
He's
brother
a modern
knows
day Michael Jackson.
This brother knows how to put on a show, and his music is fabulous, sensational. Ooh, what I do to you, girl? I mean, come on, the brother. The brother's special. The brother's special, man. You understand what I'm saying? He got a whole and all the artists love him, and they will all show up for him to collab.
Exactly.
I gotta tell you, we don't condone domestic violence. We don't condone, any kind of transgression like that. But he ain't in jail. You understand? That was a long time ago. He's got concerts and was touring all over the country a few months ago. He's all over the world. He's an internationally recognized, brilliant artist who most artists in the industry says this is the modern day Michael Jackson. And if not, some are saying he's better than Michael Jackson was. I would love to see Chris Brown be the halftime show for the Super Bowl. I think he would put on a show. Yes, I do.
Hey, one more question about you. Why you never made the cover of GQ magazine?
I don't know. I've been in GQ magazine about three times. But I do. If I should say so myself, I do think I deserve a cover. I do. I really do.
We're gonna push for that. We're gonna push for that.
I think with my suit game. Yeah, I think I deserve to be on the cover of GQ. I ain't gonna lie to you. Right. I do believe I deserve that. I appreciate the comment. Man, I'm glad you brought up the idea. I really am. I think I kind of deserve it personally. I'm just keeping it a buck with y'all. I really feel I deserve it, and I'm trying to hurt nobody or nothing like that. But I feel that way. Sorry. That's how I feel. 888 Mad Dog 688-623-3646. Dave in Florida. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Dave?
Good afternoon, Stephen A. I got to give you a take on the halftime show. I always call you about how people grew up in their families. That'll be for another day. Vicariously, I live with this modern music through my 27-year-old. I've seen Chris Brown 3 times and said he is absolutely fabulous beyond compare, which I saw Michael Jackson 84 in Giant Stadium Victory Tour. He was fabulous, but that's another story. As far as the show yesterday, I watched it. I didn't understand it. I like the music. I like the dancing. I'm Italian. I don't understand Luciano Pavarotti.
That's right.
So
Good point.
if you got an open mind, you would like what you saw as far as dancing and music.
It was a party atmosphere.
I didn't understand
It was a party
the language.
atmosphere. You want me to tell you something, man? As an aside, I got to tell you this, man. Do you know what one of my, don't get me wrong, I loved this movie, Miami Vice. It was with Jamie Foxx and Will Ferrell, was it? Not Ferrell. I think it was with not Will Ferrell. Who's the other guy? He played in Total Recall, not Arnold Schwarzenegger, but after that, Colin Farrell. It was Jamie Foxx and Colin Farrell, if I remember correctly. Did you ever see that movie, Miami Vice?
I did.
The movie with Jamie Foxx. Right?
Correct.
Dave,
Correct.
remember the scene when he hops in the boat with the Asian girl that was working for the drug kingpin? And they went to Cuba.
I do.
Do you remember that dance scene? When he was, she's like, "Do you dance? Come show me." And they were dancing at a club in Cuba, and they were throwing down. I'm talking about the band in Cuba. They were. I didn't understand the word they were saying, and I loved it.
Me neither.
I loved it.
Yeah, you got the horns.
Didn't bother me at all.
You got horns going. You got noise. You got horns. You got clapping.
It's special. It's special. It's special.
It depends what's inside of you. If you are receptive to something that you don't know.
That's right. And we would never accuse the president of having any rhythm. We've seen him dance. We wouldn't do that. We wouldn't do that at all. Appreciate the call, though, man. Thank you so much. 888 Mad Dog 6 is 888-623-3646. Back with more of your calls to close out the show in a minute. You're listening live to Stephen A. Sirius XM. Last segment. Closing out in a minute.
Back to the Stephen A. Smith Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Here's Stephen A. Smith.
You know what else was an interesting stat about the Super Bowl? Again, you got Drake Maye who can run with the football, not just throw it. You got receivers in Stephon Diggs and Booty who either were not getting open or Drake Maye didn't have enough time to see them get open because he was being slaughtered by Seattle's pressure. Think about this right here. Drake Maye attempted only one screen pass the entire game. One. And guess when the play was, ladies and gentlemen? It was the game's final play with 12 seconds remaining. Not one screen pass attempted by Josh McDaniels. Not one screen pass. I mean, it's like the coaches were asleep at the wheel on the offensive side of the ball. It's like they were asleep at the wheel. 888 Mad Dog 6, 888-623-3646. Let's go to Ray in Baltimore. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Ray? How are you? Ryan in Tampa. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Ryan?
What's going on, my man?
Talk to me.
I appreciate you taking my call. Am regarding the halftime show. I am a red-blooded American traditionalist, Republican, lifelong. I married a dime from Barranquilla, Colombia. We got up. We were dancing. The room was on fire. All of our friends were up dancing. It just brought such, levity to such a horrible game. And I don't know how you could be against that. And one last thing, while my wife and all of her little sexy friends were dancing, he actually did a good job not, bringing it all together at the end, not disrespecting the United States. He said, I love Estados Unidos. I mean, I don't know how you could be against it.
I got you.
I don't know.
Hey, by the way, Ryan, you said your wife, she's a dime, and it was, obviously gorgeous and all of that stuff. You trying to tell me she had gorgeous friends there with her too?
Many. Many. It looked like Carnival in our house.
You did have a good time. Props to you, my brother. Props to you. Appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much. David in California, you're live with Stephen A. What's up, David?
Hey, Stephen. If I can get back to the game for a second, really to the bigger question of football in general. My question for you is, will the Vikings – it's one thing if you've seen a kid play in college and you're taking a risk. That's one thing. It's a whole other thing when you've seen a guy perform in the NFL. Will the Vikings not signing Sam Darnold go down as the worst management decision
I think it should be one of them.
Of the league?
I think it should be one of them. I think it should be one of them.
He was the fourth or fifth quarterback drafted in that draft. He was not like a dime thrower in college. And they rolled the dice on a basic rookie who's coming off an injury instead of the guy that just won the Super Bowl. I want to know what was the worst management decision in the history of maybe any league.
Well, here's what you need to know. The GM was fired. And Kevin O'Connell has done everything he can to distance himself from the decision to let Sam Darnold go. Suddenly it's something he supports when he was the one raving about J.J. McCarthy more than anybody.
It's unbelievable how the Vikings may be losing it because they could have been in that game yesterday.
It's unbelievable. Make no sense. And how do you do that when Justin Jefferson is your star wide receiver? When Jordan Addison is a sidekick and T.J. Hawkinson is your tight end? How do you do that?
It's wild.
It's pretty bad. Appreciate the call, though, man. Hey, thank you. Giovanni in Miami, you're live with Stephen A. What's up, Giovanni? How are you?
My man. Good to talk to you again, bro.
Thank you.
Hey,
Go ahead, bro.
Let me ask you something. In terms of global reach, because I love the halftime show. I'm biased because I live in Miami and South Beach. But would you put that in your top 10 in terms of global reach?
In terms of global reach, yes. In terms of entertainment, I don't know because there's a few that I liked better.
Right. Right. I mean, we know we love, my MJ and Prince, and it's not like that. But in terms of bringing all the people who don't watch football,
right?
And
I thought it was a brilliant idea. I thought it was a brilliant idea.
I want to be fair. I don't want to be like my homeboy, T over there. I want to be fair. I want to give props to the president because he let us enjoy it. He didn't put ice all over the place messing with us.
That's true.
I'm going to tip my hat, bro. I want to be
That's
fair, because if we don't talk to each other, ain't nothing going to happen. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I want to be fair
Yes.
to the man. When he do wrong, I want to, I appreciate you, putting it out there. When he do right, you understand? So that's
right.
all I got to say.
We definitely want to be fair. We definitely want to be fair. No doubt. We don't ever want to be accused of being unfair. There is no doubt about that. I appreciate the call, though, man. Thank you so much. Is Barbara in New Mexico on the line? Let me go to John in PA. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, John?
A couple things. First of all, I would love for you to be on the cover of GQ to see Charles Barkley's face when he picks up that magazine. That would make
you do that, yep.
For sure. But I'm a 68-year-old white man. I loved it. I liked the halftime show. The Seattle Seahawks did not win a national championship. They won the world championship. That means we involved the whole world in it. And 10 years from now, don't be surprised, everybody in America, that this Super Bowl game might be in London or Germany or some other country. That's that fact. The other thing
it's not far-fetched. It's not far-fetched.
The other thing I want to say is, as far as New England, you stole my thunder a little while ago. They did not throw any screen passes. They ran no draws. They ran no double tight ends. They did not roll the pocket to the right or left. They just sat there and let Mr. Maye get killed. And I was very disappointed. But he was our former coach with the Raiders, so I expected not much out of that offensive coordinator. But it made for a boring game. And my last comment is, my wife's also from St. Thomas. But appreciate you taking my call, and you have a good day, sir.
Thank you. You do the same. Thank you so much for the calls, no doubt about it. I appreciate what he said. I appreciate what everybody had to say. America prides itself on being a gorgeous mosaic. We're receptive to embracing all cultures. That means we've got to embrace what we saw yesterday at halftime. Even if it wasn't necessarily our cup of tea, essentially it is if we're America, if we're Americans, because it's what we do. It's nice not to forget that, no matter whether it was your taste or not. That's me. Doggy might have a totally different take whatsoever. He's up next. Until tomorrow, peace and love, everybody.